y'all, welcome to our second Monday at the Mound as part of our fall series for this year. Today we are going to be exploring the Tompkins Inn that is located just across 441 from Rock Eagle. So if you've ever driven from Athens to Milledgeville, chances are you have passed the Tompkins Inn before. Many generations spanning all the way back to 1812 could say the same thing. That's because the Tompkins Inn was constructed just a few years after Putnam County was incorporated and has been a landmark ever since. Though many people pass it every day, not many people are aware that it is still here.
Today we will talk about the rich history of one of Putnam County's oldest standing structures.
The porch on the house wraps around about half of the exterior. It is not thought to be the original porch, but rather a reconstruction of the porch that was built with the house. If you gaze out through the front yard, you'll see a small cluster of cedar trees that are believed to be over 200 years old. If you were to continue down the yard, you would see where the yard dips and meets where the old dirt road would have been. If you continue to go down, you'll eventually go into what is now 441. The Tompkins Inn was built in 1812 by Giles Tompkins. In fact, the Tompkins family is one of the first families to have settled permanently in Putnam County. Just across the street, across 441, you can find the Tompkins family graveyard. Documents from the 1970s discuss the family cemetery and the inn, but not the actual home site itself. This is because the home site was not discovered until the 1990s when a forestry class through the Rock Eagle Environmental Education Program discovered artifacts that the family left behind.
Although the original house is no longer standing, you can still visit the site today and find remnants of the people who once lived there.
Once the inn was completed, Giles Tompkins set his son Nicholas as the proprietor of the inn. The inn is situated just between Athens and Milledgeville, and at the time, Milledgeville was the capital of Georgia. Many guests would stop here on their way between the two cities. While the trip to Athens from Milledgeville takes just under 2 hours today, in the 1800s it would have taken much longer. Many people stayed here, including state legislators traveling to the state capitol and spent time here at the Tompkins Inn.
Since the inn still holds most of its original structure, it provides lots of information about how dwellings were built during this time period. This open time capsule reveals many unique features that are rarely seen in today's architecture.
One of the fascinating facts about the Tompkins Inn is that the trees used to build these beams were from single trees. That means that the builders did not have to cut down multiple trees and put this together, but rather this large beam came from the trunk of one single large tree.
Although it originally had just 4 rooms, it is said that the Tompkins Inn could house up to 100 people overnight.
Behind the inn, there are 2 large wooden structures that still stand. The one that is right here with the chimney was known as the servants' quarters and housed servants and stagecoach drivers overnight. And then in the very back was a barn where animals would have been kept.
The inn houses 2 large fireplaces that were an important source of heat and light before electricity was installed.
Now that we've gotten a look around the downstairs part of the house, let's go head upstairs. The upstairs portion of the house is split into 2 rooms. Originally, it was built as one large room, with a partition later being added to create 2 rooms. We're not totally sure why it was split into 2 rooms, but today we have it split into a bedroom and then more of a dressing room or washing room area.
While the Tompkins family were well known for their roles as pillars of the Putnam County community, they were also known for their unique personalities.
While Nicholas was the proprietor of the inn, it was common to see his wife coming in and out.
As a prominent woman in the community, I really like to have unique clothing. So whenever I would find a fabric that I really liked, I would buy all of that fabric so that nobody would have the same patterns as me.
Not only was Nicholas Tompkins known as the proprietor of the inn, he was also known for his interest in horse racing and his prized chickens. Ownership of the inn changed hands several times up until the 1930s when it was purchased by the government. Tenants rented the house until the 1970s. These pictures from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution depict the home as it was when the Turk family lived here in the 1950s and 60s. The original kitchen was built separated from the inn. This was common in old building techniques because if a fire were to start in the kitchen, it would stay contained in the separate kitchen instead of spreading to the rest of the building. It also helped prevent heat coming from the kitchen and spreading through the rest of the building in the hot summer. Today, we have a new renovated catering kitchen that is used for events housed at the Tompkins Inn. Today, the inn is owned by the Eatonton Putnam Historical Society. Rock Eagle has partnered with the Historical Society to restore and maintain the inn. We hope to also restore the lively spirit of the inn by hosting community programs, weddings, and other events. Once again, the inn will host eclectic groups of people who will add to the rich history of the inn.